Hey superstars, it's your girl Malika aka Miss Magic back with another video. Today I'm going to teach you how to make these delicious Chicago style rib tips. But first, if you are new here, welcome to my channel. Thank you for coming. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me. Give me a big thumbs up if you like this video. And hit that notification bell so you can be alerted when I do post another video. Alright guys, so like I said, we are making Chicago style rib tips fresh off the grill. Alright, we're going to get straight into this video. Let's begin.
Okay, so to get started, we're going to start off with our spare rib. A lot of people don't even know that the rib tip is basically just the top of the spare rib. So you have your spare rib right here, and we're going to just turn it over. If your ribs have a membrane right there, which is a thick little slab of skin, you'll just peel it right off, and then you can get started. So like I said, the top part is the rib tip, and then what you have left will be your spare ribs. So we're going to go ahead and take a knife and cut that spare rib right on off to make a rib tip. So I usually just start in the middle and then make a nice little tear, and then I'll just start cutting it away right there at that bone. As you see, the spare rib is starting to take shape. Now you can buy rib tips already cut in the store, and they come in boxes, or your butcher will do it, but they'll charge you triple the amount when you can just go ahead, take your spare ribs and make your own rib tips. There you have it. This is how the rib tip looks. We're going to go ahead and get these seasoned. That's your spare rib that you will use for your ribs, and then that's the rib tip. So we're going to go ahead and get these all seasoned up and put them on the grill. I have one more spare rib to cut, so we're going to go ahead and cut that up as well and get started. I'm going to go ahead and use olive oil as my binder, so I'm going to go ahead and baste it all up, get it nice and rubbed in, all the oil. You can use whatever binder you like, mustard, oil, whatever oil you want, it doesn't matter. Go ahead and do the front and back. And now I'm just going to rub my ribs with the rib rub. Not really rub them, but just go ahead and use the seasoning. I'm using a rub, a mesquite rub from Save-A-Lot that I really like. It gives the meat a nice smoky flavor, and I don't have to use too much because it really packs a punch. Now we're going straight to our grill. I use the indirect method. First, I sear my meat on one side, and then I smoke it. I always use a pan of water to put underneath there. That tip, it makes your ribs very juicy. It keeps them nice and moist. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that grate on, and now I am going to sear my meat. After I have seared my spare ribs and my baby back ribs that I've done, I'll show you how I put the rib tips on. So I've seared my meat. Those are my spare ribs that I showed you that I cut the rib tips away from, and then I have some baby backs at the top. So now we're going to go ahead and put our rib tips on, and we're going to sear this meat as well. You could get it as crispy as you want, or you don't have to get it crispy at all. It's up to you. I try not to get it too crispy. I just like a little bit of brown on there and a little bit of char. This will take anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes per side. Once one side is seared, go ahead and turn them over and sear the other side. See how it's got that nice brown color on there with just a little bit of char? That's perfect. Once the meat is seared on both sides, I go ahead and I actually lay my rib tips on top of my ribs because it don't take as long to cook as the baby backs and the spare ribs. So we're gonna go ahead and lay those directly on top so that we can smoke this meat for at least an hour and 15 minutes. So you have your fire over here, and then you have your water tray over there, and these ribs are going to smoke to perfection. Oh guys, make sure your grill vent on both sides, or if you only have one side, make sure it is only 1/4 open. If you don't have one on both sides, just make sure it's halfway open. Alright, so it has been 1 hour and we're going to go ahead and get our ribs off. They are done. After an hour, like I said, you would check in maybe about 40 minutes just to see where you're at. I checked in maybe about 45 minutes and I knew they needed about 15 minutes. But they are ready to go. These are my baby backs. I've got my spare ribs are done, and then our rib tips are done. So we're gonna go ahead and place all of our meat in a pan. And guys, this is very important. Let your meat rest 15 to 20 minutes wrapped up with the aluminum foil in a pan. Do not open it, and that will make sure that the juices flow back into the meat and you'll have the juiciest meat ever. All right guys, our meat is nice and rested, and now is my favorite part. It's time to chop up these rib tips and get them served up. So I'm going to use a meat cleaver, but feel free to use a knife if you don't have a meat cleaver, or whatever you got, a nice sharp knife. And then you're just going to chop them up as thin or as thick as you like. If you like thick rib tips, you'll chop them up thick. If you like them thin, you chop them up thin. And as you can see the juice popping off of them. These rib tips are juicy and tender. Now there you have it. In Chicago, this is what we call a large tip, no sauce, or you put your sauce on the side. They go ahead and wrap this up, put a piece of bread down, some fries, and your tips on top, wrap it up in aluminum foil and some parchment paper, put it in a bag, and they send you on your way. So there you have it. That is a tip. Look at that. That is what you call a rib tip. Look how juicy that is. I'm gonna go ahead and take me a little bite because I cannot resist rib tips. So there you have it. Those are the rib tips. I'm gonna go ahead and take a bite, and then we're gonna go ahead and put some sauce on it. Yeah, I decided I gotta cut up my spare ribs and my baby backs too. So if we put a little sauce on them. So I usually do half and half, guys. I usually put half of my ribs, I put sauce on them. The other half I leave them plain for the people that don't want the barbecue sauce or they want to put their own barbecue sauce on. So yeah, I cut up my ribs, and as you see, they just come away nice and tender. Just cut them up and you just put them in the pan. Now, when you go to order your ribs and your rib tips at the barbecue joint, they usually have a big pot of hot barbecue sauce that they pour on top. We're not doing that. We're just going to go ahead and squeeze our Sweet Baby Ray's. You can use whatever barbecue sauce you like. So I go ahead and I squeeze a nice portion on them. And what I do, I let them marinate in a 175-degree oven for about 30 minutes. And that gets the barbecue sauce nice and popping hot. So we're gonna go ahead and pour our Sweet Baby Ray's all over our ribs, and then I just mix it up a little bit with a spoon or a fork, and then I'll pop it in the oven. Alright guys, so it has been about 35 minutes. We're going to go ahead and pop them out of the oven, and this is going to be the final results of our Chicago style rib tips. Oh my goodness. And baby, when I tell you the juices have melded with the barbecue sauce and they are so tender and delicious, you cannot just eat a couple. You're going to eat about 5 or 6 of them. So that is what the rib tip looks like when it's done. Alright guys, so yes, I'm going to go ahead and take a bite with the sauce on it, and they are so good. Look at that. It's got that nice char. It pulls right away from the bone. It's delicious. Alright guys, I want to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I am so close to getting to 1,000 subscribers, so I need you guys' help. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me. Give me a big thumbs up, like, comment, and we can discuss this video. I can give you some tips, or you can tell me some tips. What do you guys do with your barbecue that's a little bit different? I am a wife, mom, and a hairstylist who just loves to cook and who loves to share my recipes or whatever I do on YouTube. And I like input and feedback from my audience. So if you got any feedback, let me know. I have other videos as well, and I have many videos to come in the future. All right, guys, don't forget, go ahead and subscribe. I hope to see you soon in past, present, and future videos. Love you guys. Bye.